Believe Nation, we are live. Happy, what day is today? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday is my project day. So, man, it's been a crazy day. I woke up at 5:30, just ready to go. I didn't even know what time it was. It was still dark outside. See, it's 5:30 a.m. Get up. Let's get to work. And it's been nonstop working on project, working on my brandlytics, working on my movement makers, working on my affiliate program. Zan, the man in the house. Zan, I'm looking at you. We're getting it. Movement Makers affiliate program coming soon. Just for you, man. Just for you. We're making it happen. It's going to happen. Suman, welcome aboard. Pablo in the house. Joshua, Catlego, Angie, Rich, Vadim, Jeff, Andres, welcome aboard. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's see. I'm looking for someone in particular. We'll see when she joins. We're waiting for fellow movement makers to join in the chat. But until then, you guys got me for a little bit. See if I can help answer some questions for you. Let me just load things up. C. Hey, I know. Whoa, that's a new name. You changed your name, man. You changed your name there. I like it. Pablo wants to do the affiliate program too. Okay, stay tuned. It's not going to be. It's going to be. If you're in it, then you can promote it. I don't want it to be just anybody promoting it, right? But if you're in it, I'll give it to you guys to promote. Okay, I see Mina here. Mina, I'm going to bring you in. Mina. Here comes Mina. Mina is also. Let's bring her in. See how we can help. Here she comes. Come on, Mina. Waiting for Mina. Mina, you gotta click accept. You gotta click the accept. She says she's here. All right, I like it. More info, says Pablo. Tell me, affiliate program for the movement makers. Yeah, movement makers. Actually, you're part of brandlytics too. You can have both. Yeah. Secret links to get it. You won't find it on the main pages. Mina, I sent you the invite. Okay, Mina, I'm gonna send you another invite. Mina, we're gonna send you another invite. It's not letting Mina connect. Let's try again. Mina, I'm gonna send you another invite. Here we go. Who is Mina? Mina is part of my movement makers, and she's awesome. And
Okay.
It worked this time. How you doing,
Yes.
Mina?
Doing good. My first time IG live, so quite nervous about the technology.
Oh, great. I love it. This is great. So Mina is part of my movement makers program, and part of that is we do a one-on-one together. So what do you got? How can I help?
I manifested this movement maker program earlier this year.
It's all you. You did it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm part of the manifestation, I think. Yes, I want to started to share. I was doing I have a Toastmaster club, so I was doing the sharing of what I learned in my business, my life, parenting already, and people like it. And I thought maybe I can develop some YouTube videos so that I can reach more audience and see whether it can influence people. So I was watching your video for a long time already. I was like, he is very close to me. He's in Toronto. I'm in Muskoka. So let me reach out to Ivan, see whether what programs you have there. And then I didn't find so many coaching in your website, but then one day I saw LinkedIn, you are posting a post about the Movement Maker program. So I joined right away.
All right, welcome aboard. So what do you want to make videos on? What's your message? Who are you trying to help?
So I think my whole purpose is I want to live the story I want to tell. If I want my story to be inspiring, I want my story to be interesting, exciting. I want to live my life like that. So I think, from me growing up in China and then had good education and just always, my parents is saying, have a good job. They had the same job for their whole life, right? And then moved to the States, met my husband, and then moved to Canada together, building a business together. So there's lots, I think every month I'm learning something new. It all comes from the struggle I have, the problem, the pain, and the drive for me to figure it out is that when I figure it out, I can share with other people and let them know, hey, this is what you can do. And then the pain is just temporary. As long as you try to plow through and then learn from others, you can get through to the other end of the the problem, which is, better version of yourself and better life. So that's what I want to share. Don't run away from your problem. That's actually opportunity is what makes you grow, make you become stronger.
So do you have a business around this yet, or you want to build a business around this? Where are you at?
My husband and I have, prior to us moving back to Canada, we invest in real estate. So we have like passive investing, and we manage our own property as well. I know you are not too fancy about real estate. I heard in one
That's
of
okay.
the videos.
Great.
Yeah,
Real
yeah.
estate, great.
And the reason why we moved, because we both work in Silicon Valley for many years. We are both software engineers, working there pretty, and then we had raised our kids there. I have a 4 years old and 2 years old. And prior to us moving back to Canada, it happened, we were looking at real estate, and then there is a boutique inn for sale in Muskoka. And I was so naive. I thought it's the same thing as what I did before, just, rent apartments, but turns out to be some active business. So we already got it. And then we moved back to run this boutique inn.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my husband worked in Google for many years, and I got him to quit and then working for us. We are officially innkeeper right now.
Okay.
From software engineer to innkeepers.
There you go. What?
Yeah.
Well, and so what do you want to be? Like, where do you want your message to take you?
What do I want my message to take you? Do you mean, so I think my message is, if you have something that you want to build, no matter whether it's a business or like a coaching business, a real estate business, or, just something that you want to do, and figure it out and then make it work.
So what's the business that you want to ultimately build?
For this boutique inn, it's in hospitality, right? And we happen to get it in a time that's really strange and weird.
Yeah.
We got 1 month prior. We bought it 1 month prior to the lockdown. So I think, through this time beam is really scary of, whether you can last till the economy, back to normal again. Or I think there's lots of fear, lots of struggle, because it's something that's really new to us. We were never in a hospitality before. How to do the marketing and how to, customer service, and how to manage a team. Before, we kind of passive, so we usually use third-party contractors. We don't have to hire our own employee. So that's lots of learning there. And besides, having the family adapting to a new area. For the business, of course, we want it to be, because we have a 20 guest room and then a restaurant and a pub there. So we want it to be, of course, the business to succeed. At the same time, if we can, know more people, we get people from different area to come to the inn. So we want it to be a hub for the community and also for the, people around this area.
Okay, so you started this session talking about how you want to make videos, you want to share, you want to inspire people. What's the end goal of that? Do you want to bring more people to your inn? Do you want to have a different business around speaking or coaching or writing or courses? Like, where is that vision going for you?
Okay, I see what you mean. Right now, it's kind of still in parallel. I don't expect that when I do the YouTube video, you will, help with the inn. It will develop my speaking skills in front of camera, so I can do, because it's a boutique inn, so we still want to be the face of the inn. So I probably will do the video for the inn. But that's separate. And then what I really want to do is eventually develop into speaking and coaching.
Got it. Yeah, I love it. So what's the resistance to starting? You know, like I look on your Instagram and there's not there. so you've been doing the training in
Yeah.
that in Movement Makers, you're still pretty new. It's not like you've been in from the beginning,
Yeah.
but you've been Toastmasters before. It's obviously something that's interesting for you
Yeah.
to work on this skill, but you haven't been
Yeah.
so you've been learning but not creating. So what's the resistance on the creating side?
The I started to make videos. I have my first video on YouTube.
There we go.
And my plan is to make a video every week, and with that, you know, the template, so like 10 minutes or that. So that's my plan. And this is my second week of should make my second video.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you worried that it's not going to happen? Are you struggling to come up with topics? Like where are you at right now with making the video?
I think it's just kind of the time taking to make a video, because it's not my main business yet. I want to start on that, but my main focus is still in our business. And then the content from the video is actually coming from the learning from running the business and learning from, you know, parenting, my daily life. So I find that my last video actually take me recording the video, because I did in Toastmasters. So rewriting the script to adapt to YouTube, it's good. Doesn't take much time. But and then when I was, and sometime when I get into, so I started to original goal is just let's clip, put a different clip together and then cut things that's, you know, trim things so that I can publish it. And I got interested in that, add some animation.
Okay.
So I started to add animation into the video, and once I started, I was like, oh, this is my standards. I wanted to be aligned like this. So it took me, I think the first week video take me 1 day to finally finish adding all the different points and the animation that I want. So I was like,
how much time did you spend recording the video versus editing the video?
The editing part is not actually, I added some in, so I know you are talking about like we should spend more time on recording the video, creating the content, and editing can come after.
I'm asking how much time did you spend, like how much time did it take you to, from the time you press record on the camera, how long were you in front of the camera actually talking?
I think I spent half an hour.
Half an hour, okay. And then the editing with the animation and the titles and music and whatever else you put on, how long did that all take?
On and off few hours.
Okay.
That's not, that time actually, that's not including writing the, like a kind of putting the script together and what I want to talk about, because that I already did in other place in the Toastmaster Club. So the recording is kind of just different format. So I find that developing a new one gonna take much longer than that, because the second one I want to talk about the rabbit hole of self-growth, which I fall into, that I feel, you know, always feel like I'm not enough. I need to, so I want to talk about that. I just feel like from the topic come and then to write it, it take a quite a bit time.
So I've got some homework for you. One, I would try to film all my videos in the inn somehow. I don't know where did you actually film the first video?
It's in the office, my office at the inn.
Yeah, so I want to see the inn in the background, even if the goal isn't to promote your business. Yeah, look at that! Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right, you're at the inn now.
I'm at the inn.
Do you live there too?
No, we live nearby. We don't live here. We wanted to get a house next door, but they are asking for too much. So we end up buying somewhere.
Cool. So film at the inn. Film tons of my videos at my dance studio that I still own. And people would ask me, Are you filming on a green screen? Like people would be interested in the location. Like, no, this is my real location.
I saw some videos of people walking on the,
People walk
yeah,
by.
yeah.
So I think filming on location would be great because
Mm-hmm.
any additional promotion for the business really helps, but
Yeah.
also it can be a source of inspiration for stories.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to talk about overcoming struggle or chasing your dreams or whatever the theme is, you could use your in as one of the examples. Like, for example,
Yeah.
we bought a place 1 month before lockdown.
Yeah.
And then you tell us a story, right? And maybe there's
Mm-hmm.
something desk that you can bring up, or maybe there's something beautiful happening in the background, right? And it just adds elements to the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I would always try to film somewhere at the inn, and people will be curious about it. People will say, "Where is that place? Where are you? It looks so beautiful," especially if you're showing that
Yeah.
that background. It looks amazing. So I would definitely be filming at the inn as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
2, I would really challenge you to work on not having a fully scripted video.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say is, instead of writing out the full script for it,
Mm-hmm.
just do your first 3 sentences.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I think the first, because when the training mentioned that the first minute that I was looking at the retention curve actually last night.
Okay.
So having that, I find spend time on actually writing the first, the whether question or those is really important. And I put some points that I want to talk, because I find sometimes when I stand in front of camera, my mind does not work so well as I'm writing. So I usually just put some points in. But what is your standard of recording? Like, I know a lot of.
Yeah. I was the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have everything memorized. Everything was scripted. I was afraid of saying the wrong word.
Yeah.
A lot of my early videos, I'm not on camera much. It's a lot of me, my voice, and then pictures on screen.
Uh-huh.
And I was just reading a script because I was so nervous about actually saying anything and making mistakes. If you watch my first video, I'm in a suit and I'm sitting down and I'm sweating a little bit, and I look up a lot because I'm trying to memorize what my line was supposed to be.
Yeah.
The memorized stuff, though, just doesn't play well.
Mm-hmm.
It's the right words, the perfect words, but the memorized speeches aren't the ones that end up doing the best.
Mm-hmm.
What you have to do is speak from your heart. And so if I'm giving you the advice I think you should do, it'll shortcut your path. If your goal is, I want to be a speaker, I want to be a coach, I want to be a trainer, when you end up doing interviews, when you end up going on stage, when you end up being thrown into an unscripted environment, if you've trained yourself that you can only win when it's all scripted, you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good skill to learn because it'll serve you for your entire life.
Mm-hmm.
So I would lead with something like, whatever your thought is on the rabbit hole of personal development, whatever your opinion is on that. Like, we go through, at the end of this book is the template, the thought leadership template.
Yeah.
So what's your powerful opinion? And then you tell me. And then in my head, it would just be a bullet point for what story you want to tell. So it could be the story about you buying this place 1 month before lockdown. But that's it. You're not writing anything else down.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, before I make a video, I just think about what's the main theme that I want to be talking about.
Yeah.
And then once I know my story, what's the story going to be? The story is going to be how I just did this. Okay, great. So the story is going to be that you just bought this place 1 month before lockdown.
Yeah.
You have your powerful opinion about personal development, and get used to just filming that way.
Mm-hmm.
And
so let's say we think about the message first, and then go in front of camera, and then started to talk about it.
So let's do it. We'll workshop it right now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion about the rabbit hole of personal development? Like, what's the message behind that?
Self-development development should come from a point that you want to get better, not the point that you feel you are lacking of something and you are not enough.
Hello, look at that. That's a great first line. I love it. That's
Yeah.
okay. I was expecting to have to go back and forth a little bit on that one. I love that. Okay, great. So self-development is because you want to, needs to come from a place where you want to get better and not because you feel like you're missing or you're less than.
Yeah.
Almost, right? That's great. Now, you have a story around that? Your story, your husband's story, your friend's story?
I just went through, I think a few months ago, that I was watching YouTube video, like your video, Tony Robbins video, Mel Robbins video every day. Like, and then come to a point, I'm looking for motivation. I'm not actually absorbing things from that, because I always feel like, oh, because I didn't notice that I have the fear at that point, the lockdown and then the business, the first year of the business, that I'm really fearful that I got my husband to quit his
job.
high pay job, and he's dealing with contractor.
Yeah.
And like, just quite different, right? So I was afraid that he's not happy and our business won't succeed. So that fear was feel like, oh, maybe it's because I'm not enough. I don't know how to do it. That should be somebody else that, bought some business during a economic downturn. So I was looking for it. I'm looking for motivation instead of saying, I want to do this business. I want it to succeed. So I want to learn how. I'm coming from a place that I'm scared, I'm fearful. I'm just trying to look for people to answer to me. But even when I watch the video, multiple video every day, I'm not absorbing them because it feel like I'm looking for something specific that apply to my business instead of open my mind for a different opportunity or options to how to.
So let's just pause for a second right now. You had no script for this, right?
Yeah.
But look, what we're getting. Yuko in the house says, amazing, exclamation part. That's so powerful. That's so powerful, right? What you give to your own self matters a lot, right? Like, people are already connecting to what you're saying, even though you didn't have it all scripted out, because you're speaking more
to
the heart. Like, it's authentic, it's real, it's what's actually on your mind right now. So that's the skill that I want you to continue to practice. So you have your powerful opinion. You already nailed it. It was great. You have a story, and you can tell more. But I cut you off. But you can go more into the story and tell me deeper. And then the last part is just advice. So, okay, great. So I agree with you. I need to go and approach personal development from a place of growth, not from a place of lack. Great. I resonate with you now because you told me your story. What do I do? Like, what's the single biggest takeaway or piece of advice, practical, that I can do to actually do this?
I think is to find out clarify your goal at this point, and then reflect on yourself, and then think about what I need to develop on. For me, is decision making, or might be visualize the goal. So those are the areas. Narrow it down so that I can really go deeper of each area. But also, I think it's practice. It's not because at some point, also a lot of my friends does that as well. You attend so many self-growth, watch videos or attend seminars, and then it becomes just a knowledge in your pocket. It's not something you're applying every day. So I think practice is very important, and practice based on what your goal is and what you want to achieve at this phase of your life.
So get specific. Like, how do I practice? Imagine I just watched your video, you open my eyes, you're telling me to practice. What do I do to practice? How do I practice?
Let's use at that phase, I did one thing that something come to actually from your video, which is how to, because I was thinking about, how do I focus on the most important thing of the day, to start with my day with important thing. And I watched your video, one of they mentioned is that only focus on six important items, because your attention is only, your brain, your attention is only can focus on many things at a time. So what I did is I sat down and I cut down my to-do list by 80%. So it only dropped, like my to-do list dropped to within 20, and I moved 6 of them to today. That made fundamental difference of my day, because I feel my mind is much more clear, and I can actually not thinking multiple things at the same time, but actually sit down and lock down one task at a time and not feel guilty or anxious about I may miss something that day, because I know all my important thing is on that list. That 6,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, Yuko in the house says, I want Mina to be on my Instagram live. She can practice with me. So you should definitely say yes and do it. Yuko is also, well, she's from Japan, not China, but also in Ontario. She's in Niagara.
Oh, nice.
And when I first met her, she was super shy and didn't want to do any filming or be on camera. And now she's this morning, Yuko had an IG live, was watching her. So you guys need to connect and do one together for sure, practice. And she's also a movie maker, so she's family.
Yeah.
That structure, the only thing I would change about the end is don't make it about you now, make it about what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you start with your powerful opinion, which you did. Self-development needs to be a growth journey, not one from feeling less than.
Yeah.
Tell me your story about how you got into personal development and why, and how you felt less than and how you overcame it. Mm-hmm. And then you have to tell me what to do. And so in telling what to do, you say, so as the next step, you need to focus. You need to get rid of 80% of the things that you're doing right now. You're doing too much busy work. You're not focused. You're all over the place. If you've learned something from a video, take one action on it, right? And so if you just have that process and that you practice it, right? The same thing. Now the advice is back to you, right?
Yeah.
You're people's practice. So now you need to practice. That's your video.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, you're already enough. You don't need to have the perfect script to get your video up.
Mm-hmm.
Write out your powerful opinion, right? It's like, know what your powerful opinion is, and then think about what story am I going to tell, and what's my piece of advice that I want to give.
Mm-hmm.
And in there, you have a 10-minute video, right? Like, I cut you off at different points just so we can move this along, but you can go deeper into the advice. You can go deeper into your story as well, and then you've got a great 10-minute video for YouTube.
Okay. I think I may have my version of thought leadership platform. I find the way that you ask me question is much easier for me to draw out what's in my heart, what's in my mind. Yeah, so I start with asking my question, what's a powerful opinion, and then what's your story, and what's a piece of advice that I want to give to people that they can act on it right away.
That's the very basic structure that I think you can get down. Like in Built to Serve, at the end, we go through 7 or 8 steps, which is a little more advanced, which you work towards. Don't worry about getting that perfect. Just work on those 3 steps. And I want you to spend less time scripting out perfect videos. Mm-hmm. This is where, depending on the Toastmasters, it might be actually hurting, because a lot of people it's a memorized script.
I noticed that, so when I was in Toastmaster meeting, I don't usually write my whole script. I write the opening and, if I have time, of course, I write opening and ending, and I put the points so I can, because most of the time I'm sharing my story. I don't have to write it down. I know my story. I find that it's quite different than, because right now it is moving to speaking online meeting right now. It's not in person, but that feeling of, speaking in a Toastmaster club, which is really helpful for me to develop, the speaking skills, to the right now speaking, in the YouTube channel, is quite different. I don't get the difference yet. I think still practicing in the developing YouTube content more, I can summarize, but I just feel it's different, and I don't know what's the
definitely different speaking by yourself to a camera versus to an audience of people who are there to listen to you, right? It's versus a coaching session, you know, like this. It's definitely different. You have 5 minutes to write your script. That's it.
Okay. I set that as a rule.
You got 5 minutes to think of your powerful opinion, what the story is going to be, and then what the advice is going to be.
Okay. I set that as my rule. Set a timer and then go.
5 minutes to do your script, because that's all you really need, right? It's going to be, okay, the message is going to be get back up when it's hard. Okay. We're going to talk about how we bought this place just before the lockdown, and my husband left Google, and I made him do that. And then the advice is going to be, how do you get back up? Well, you have to listen to your heart. Your heart already knows what you want, and you have to be courageous and bold enough to listen to it, right? There's your video. Next, right? And it's like, story, advice, 5 minutes, and then talk and let it come out, because it'll flow a lot better, and you'll end up being able to make more videos. Like if you do it that way, you might be able to make 3 videos a week instead of 1.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, it's a process thing that I need to change, because I find that I never lack of topic. Even at Toastmasters Club, I feel like I don't have enough speaking roles the reason why I only did every few weeks is just because the time, I think, to develop that speech. But to talk about like what we just did, to talk about that, and then just bring out the story, bring out, like if I'm with my friends or with other people that come to the inn, that we talk this, share what I was doing. It's quite I can do it pretty quickly. The thing sometimes troubles me. It's just when you are talking about, I think something that come to my mind is sometimes feel like holding back. It's like, should I say this or should I not? Because come from that developing speech, and you want to usually Toastmaster speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and you really need to make sure you are picking the right material to support, right story to support that message. So I have to unwind that right now in order to go.
Here's another great rule. If you're thinking it, say it.
Okay.
Don't worry if it doesn't fit the structure. There's a reason why. Like all of this entire session, when you said that I asked you questions and it opens up your heart, I'm not thinking about the questions. I'm just asking what feels right.
Yeah.
You'll make better videos. You'll be a better coach. You'll be a better speaker. What Toastmasters teach is great. And the best people who deliver speeches aren't just doing the same speech that they memorize and rehearse and practice, like acting.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to get on stage and go in a completely different direction because of the vibe that you're getting from the audience. Maybe they're not resonating with what you're saying, and you feel, I want to go here, and it doesn't make any sense, but then you go and talk about that, and that's the thing that ends up exploding. You have to be willing to do that. And so learn to trust your instincts. Just like you said, hey, we're going to leave Silicon Valley. and
we drove back. We drove 7 days, 3 days with 4 years old and 2 years old back.
Yeah, it makes no sense, right? But you were drawn to it. It's a heart decision. So same thing. If you're thinking it, say it. If you're thinking it, say it, and learn to develop that muscle. Even if it's off script, say it, because it's almost always, if it's from the right place. Like if you're really angry, or you're upset at somebody, or you're frustrated, or there's a customer who's bothering you, okay, maybe don't say what's on your mind.
That I have a way to deal with it.
If you're in a negative place, don't say it. Calm, breathe, mindfulness, let's get back to it. But if you're in a positive place and you're trying to help and you're trying to serve, and an idea comes to you, say it. Just practice saying it. Like If you're speaking and then all of a sudden a Chinese saying pops into your head, say it in Chinese, and then explain what it means, right? Where that may not have been part of the plan or the script or what you were supposed to do. For whatever reason, this is the thing that makes sense, right?
That's the universe throwing ideas to me.
Yeah, you have to listen to it, right? And when you're too scripted, you don't listen to it anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to do the videos in the in as well, because you'll get inspired by what's happening. As you're saying something, something will happen. You'll see a tree over there, and you'll talk about the tree because it relates to the message.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got this. Just 5 minutes. That's all you have. Prep time is 5 minutes. Trust that it'll take over. Trust that you're enough. Trust that the message will come. And spend less time editing. Don't worry about the animation. And get 3 videos out. Because if you're making 3 videos a week instead of 1, you get better 3 times faster.
What about, I have a question about that. So you mentioned about when you go to stage, you have the feedback from the audience to try to, so you can adjust what you want to say. When you develop a video, do you have that feedback, or just based on kind of once you publish it and the feedback coming from, you know, what people are watching and not?
Yeah, so it's a mix. Like when I'm making a video, I'm making it for, I usually think of somebody.
Yeah.
If I'm talking about making content, I might think of you. I might have Mina here in front of me, visualizing, okay, I'm making this video for Mina. And then you look at the data and you see what people like. You look at your audience retention and you see, ooh, okay, how I started this video wasn't so good. I'm going to make it better next time. It's a mix of both. And often when you watch your own videos back, you know you can do better, right? I mean, especially at the beginning. You watch it back, like, oh, it's so bad.
I published the first video, and then my husband gave me feedback, and I added once. Like after that much editing, and I put one, and then the people give me feedback, and I added once, and then my husband keep giving me feedback. I was like, no, stop. I feel I'm already omitting before in front of my own video already because it's just too much repeating.
Yeah, and just post and take the feedback and pour it into the next video. Don't keep editing down the first video, right? Just, okay, oh, that's great. Yeah, how I said that, yeah, that was bad. Okay, great. Or my story wasn't very understandable. Okay, I'll make it better the next time. Like, don't worry about the last video. That's done. Now we're going to make a new video, and today I'm going to use that feedback to try to make them better. And it will take a while before you'll be able to keep watching videos back and keep finding spots in your videos where you're just like, oh, I did it again. And it's fun, and you keep going. But don't let the feedback stop you from posting or editing. Just make another video and keep getting better. Yeah.
And I really like the idea you mentioned about using the environment to inspire you, because what I was thought, oh, I go to the office and then set up things and then record, and that's just a really fixed and locked in environment instead of, you know, walking around, see a tree or see the view, and then see something remind me that, you know, the feeling at that time, that's the inspiration from the, you know, interacting with the environment.
It's another huge hack that I haven't talked a lot about, but it's easy to go back to your foundation story. It's easy to keep telling the same story about leaving Google and buying the in and right. If you're talking about bouncing back after failure, what's a great skill to learn is try to figure out, how did you apply that yesterday or today? If you talk about bouncing back after failure, okay, we don't have to tell the same story about COVID and the in from March or whatever. What happened yesterday? Like, where did you have to bounce back after failure yesterday? That your 4-year-old had a temper tantrum and said, I hate you, Mom. And you felt like a loser. And you had to, how did you bounce back from that, right? Like, all of these things matter. The things that happen in your everyday life, there's trying to find, that's why the environment's really important, because maybe you see a picture of your daughter and that's what triggers the memory. Trying to find more recent examples of what's happening to you or what you're struggling with right now. And you're making videos and you're worried that people won't like them or that they're not good enough or that it's not memorized or they won't understand you, or they have judgments or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then how are you dealing with it? To try to challenge yourself to come up with a current story,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to one from 6 months ago, or one from when you were 14, or, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's harder, but it's a great skill to learn. And it's also more interesting than just telling the same stories over and over again.
Mm-hmm. I think it's also, besides that, it's fresh, but also more relatable, because, you know, not everybody's experience are different. If we always withdraw from the core story, you know, the big events, it may not be relatable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Extra practice.
Okay.
That's your homework. I want to see some.
Okay. So 5 minutes.
Are you doing a 100 video challenge? You have to do the 100 video challenge.
I started, but I'm taking it slow. I'm not doing it every day. That was.
Yeah. But we need to go more than once a week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And just, again, 5-minute script, no animation, just get the videos up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you practice something only once a week, it's so long before you get good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, like you practice tying your shoes once a week, you may never learn to tie your shoes.
Yeah, I did the calculation. If I do once a week, 100, challenging 100, it will be two or 3 years after. I was like, oh my gosh, that's too long.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. So get on it. And you have to go on Yuko's IG Live. You guys are going to love each other. Have a great time.
Okay.
Yuko, DM her after so you can set it up.
Mm-hmm. I saw her in the Facebook.
Okay. Much love, Mina. We'll see you tomorrow. Movie Makers.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.